Christ lover. Definitely a mentor to me for many years. And we have him with us in the studio. So I want to thank Chuck for coming down because he lives out in another country called St. Charles, which I venture to, every now and then to play golf and then to go to meetings, which is it's like a whole nother world. I will tell you, in my 64 years, so how many of those would be driving? 64 minus 16. St. Charles has done nothing but grow. The traffic out there is insane. So it's not just people leaving St. Louis going to St. Charles. It's people going to St. Charles and O'Fallon and Wentzville. It's people going there because they choose to, because there's money to be made, because there's jobs, because there's tremendous housing, because there's good schools. And it's done nothing but grow. As in traffic, the traffic out there is insane. Thank goodness we have St. Charles and Wentzville so that you only have to wait a half an hour on Highway 40 every day. Chuck, the title of the show is Never the Same today, and Chuck's probably wondering why the heaven did you name the show Never the Same? And I'm going to tell a story, but I'm going to let Chuck have a little bit of time here on the microphone. And Chuck, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe. It's always a pleasure to be here with you. And I'm not officially a preacher, but I'm definitely a Jesus-loving. If you want to call me a fanatic, I'm a fanatic.
How about minister?
I'm a minister, for sure.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
I'm actually a marketplace minister. One of my roles is I'm the field partner for Christian Businessmen's Connections, the acronym CBMC. It's a 90-year-old plus ministry. In 2030, we'll celebrate our 100th anniversary as a ministry. So largest men's marketplace ministry in the world. Huge internationally. So that's my passion.
When you say marketplace, what you're meaning is Christians that are involved in business.
Yes.
Join your ministry to reaffirm and expand on how they bring Jesus Christ into their business.
Yeah, simply put, it's a men's ministry first and foremost. That's a niche that we have. There's plenty of great women's ministries out there, but this is a men's ministry, and we simply teach men how to share Jesus with others and how to disciple others.
So I was going to buy. I almost bought these little Jesus Christ dolls.
Yeah.
You buy them, and they're really cute. But you can just leave them different places. And let Jesus be there. I was going to press a button, and I was thinking, oh man, I got all these St. Christopher medals, or no, was it St. Christopher? There's a tremendous grotto in southern Missouri. For the Virgin Mary. Is that Josh? Did an angel just get its wings? But there's a tremendous grotto in I forget where it is, but for the Virgin Mary, and they hand out medallions, St. Margaret Mary medallions, and I had a bunch of those, and it's just and I failed to hand them out, so it's just why would I buy? One of these things that I have to battle with is, will I follow through with it? Will I follow through with it? And so I ended up not doing it because it's I'll probably just buy them and they'll probably sit in a box and I probably won't put in places.
Well, if you buy a bunch of little Jesuses, share them with me because I'll share Jesus with
Okay,
everybody.
well, all right, they were really cute. All right, I'll do that. Josh, we have another entree into the kingdom's evolution. And Josh, wow, you're really big.
I see that. That looks awesome, doesn't it?
LifeWave has made you larger than life, brother.
I see that. So, what's funny is I'm on Zoom all the time, and it doesn't do this face narrowing thing like this thing does. I'm like, all right, this is fine.
Zoom out.
But maybe I should have plucked my nose hair before I came on here. Looks like.
This will not be the make fun of Josh show, I promise, but maybe.
No, Josh is a godsend.
So Josh, let me back up. So I don't want to. So how this all started was Chuck Williams told me about stem cells, and I had stem cells. I had what are called exosomes injected into my knees 5-6 years ago. It gets longer and longer. Could barely walk. Well, I don't want to say could barely walk, but it wasn't bone on bone. But terrible pain, very difficult running, difficult playing golf, and I had exosomes put in. Miracle, they're a form of stem cells. fast forward, cost me a lot of money. Fast forward, and also somebody had to put a needle into my knee of like somebody else's cells into my body. So there's risks involved in that. And so Chuck Williams calls me, and Chuck, what do you tell me?
We just catch up with each other.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to pitch you on the product or the business because I wasn't doing the business at that time. I was just using the product for myself because I wanted the benefit of stem cell activity. And I just told you that I'm trying this stem cell activation patch. And that's about all I got out of my mouth. And you said, well, what do you know about stem cells, Chuck? Which was supposed to be my question if I knew what I was doing. And I said, I really don't know a whole lot, except my dad died of dementia and Alzheimer's 5 years ago. And I was looking for something that could help activate my stem cells so I could prevent what I saw my dad suffer with. And you said, man, you and I got a lot in common. I know a lot more about stem cells than you would imagine, but I got to know more. And I said, well, Josh can help you. I introduced you to Josh, and he kind of took over from there. And so that was pretty cool.
And Josh, turn to Josh. Josh, so I call you on the phone. I'm like, what's this about stem cells? And Josh says...
Yeah, I was just kind of giving you my story. Like, I'm not a professional in this industry. I've never really done this before or anything, and it made any money. When I got into this thing, I had knee issues. That's why I got into this, and I wasn't looking at doing the business by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a little bit busy, just like a lot of people are there, so I had no desire for that. But when I seen these amazing results on my knee, that doctors wanted to do knee surgery on it. And then, then I looked at stem cell injections like you're talking about, and they wanted upwards of $10,000 for that. And so I was planning on doing that, even though I didn't like the price tag on it. And thank God I was introduced to this technology here. And I got on my hand today that changed my world, right? It's by a buddy of mine that I trust, similar to, I think, Joe, why you got in this because you trust Chuck. He shared with me what it did for him and his wife. And really, I asked the question, but what's the price tag on this thing? He's $100 a month. And I'm like, that's better than the 10 grand I was about to dump on this thing. I said, I'll at least give it a try for 3 months. No problem. So I had high expectations. I talked to one of my neighbors who's a doctor about it. And I said, what are your thoughts about this? And he said something I'll never forget. He said, Josh, he said, let me look at this. So he looked at the science. He goes, if they could create a way to activate dormant stem cells, that's going to change the world. And I just got excited. I'm like, I was so hopeful that I would see something. And when I seen a little bit of energy the first couple of days, I was like, okay, something's going on. And then I see my sleep was better. I see that. And then 2 weeks later, all the knee issues that I had for 6 years were completely gone. And that was 2.5 years ago. And it's changed my life in a big way. So whenever I have the opportunity to share this, like I did, obviously talk with Chuck through another friend of ours, and then I got a chance to talk to you, Joe. Yeah, I basically call you up and just said, hey, what do you know about stem cells? And then you went into your thing. And it's funny when you talk, some people know a lot about stem cells like yourself. They've done the research. They've had other people that go to Tijuana to get injections or whatever, or seen it on Joe Rogan's program. And then some people just like, I've heard of stem cells, so it's everywhere between. But the point is, everybody for the most part knows that stem cells is that hot topic over the last decade, because we're coming to the realization that our bodies are designed to heal themselves. It's not for injections and pills and all these weird things that they put in your body that cause side effects and other pills you need to cover that stuff up. Our bodies are the miracles, and that's what's doing this. Talk to you about it. You said, hey, yeah, 100%. Let me do this, and then you immediately get the biggest package, and here you are a year later, talking to people about it, and it's it's just been such a blessing to for so many people.
So Josh, just so you know, Josh has been used to taking the stage for about an hour at a time. So when we bring Josh on, he's gonna talk. All right, so Josh, so a year and a half later, I'm on the stem cells. I walk into a client I haven't seen in like 2 years. Owns a barbershop down by Crown Candy. And he looks at me, and I tried to get it on video, but he just looked at me and he gave me that a voodoo look. He's like, "You're younger." and he stepped back. He's like, "You're younger." And I was just like, I got to get that on video, but I got it on video, but it wasn't the same. But it was a lot of fun. And Josh, I promise you, since I met you, you look younger as well. Chuck, same with you. And so why do we look younger? So the stem cell patch, the X39, is a miracle. The title of the show is Never the Same. So I'll make this a quick story. in a bar. I don't hang out in bars as much as I used to, but in a bar a few years ago, asked the bartender for some words of wisdom. And the bartender looks at me and he goes, and I said, no, give us a pearl of wisdom. Give us one pearl of wisdom. And he looks at me and goes, a river is never the same. As the water flows through it, it's different water, and the water that was here is gone. And we were at the bar like, damn, dude, we were kidding. We really didn't expect any pearls of wisdom from you. You're a bartender. But he just blew us away, and it blew me away. And I still remember it to this day. And that's why the title of the show is Never the Same. Because we, as human beings, are never the same. Every day we wake up, every second we live, something changes. We have more input into our brains. We have something gets a little bit older, something dies, something goes. So we're never the same one day to day. And so when somebody that you haven't seen in 2 years goes, you look younger, that's not normal. That's not normal. It's not normal for the river to go back. And and this is the beautiful thing about the X39 is our bodies are never the same. So you have a choice right now. Like you have a choice. You can do what you can to activate your stem cells, or you can go on down the mighty Mississippi to New Orleans. So there's been a great update, and that's kind of what I wanted to make the show about, or have the show about today. It kind of brings in the whole water thing and the river thing, never the same, because LifeWave has invented a beautiful little thing called the HXO. And Josh, the guy on the screen that's bouncing around that can't sit still, actually has one in his house. And I'm thinking that he probably just drank a glass of the water because he can't sit still. Josh, so tell us. So we'll get it and this is supposed to actually activate and help the stem cells. The more you drink the water, the stem cell patches are supposed to get better. But the actual water isn't necessarily about stem cells. Josh, on the water, can you describe to us, like, how long have you had the HXO machine and first impressions, second impressions, how kind of like overall is it kind of a slow build, or if you talk to us?
Yeah, sure. So so it's called the X2O. Water machine.
What did I call it? X2O? I guess I should get the name down first.
Yeah, no, it's all good. So yeah, X2O, and I'll give you kind of my backstory on this, and I think so many people that are involved with LifeWave, right? So since I've been doing this for over 2.5 years, I've just fallen in love with what LifeWave is doing, right? What the stem cell activation technology through the X39 is doing, and have complete understanding that it works. Right, because we have so many people on our team. We have over 4,000 people on our team now, and so many testimonies from them all the time. So we know this technology works. And as we heard from David Schmidt, the inventor and CEO, here's another technology we're coming out and describing how this works. I think for me, if I heard this from just kind of a man on the street, we have a water machine that takes light and basically changes the molecules of our water around. I would kind of think twice about it. But knowing who David Schmidt is and knowing his history, even starting with the Navy SEALs 20 years ago, and what he's created, and all the different responses he's had, and my personal benefits that I've seen from it, I had complete confidence. And when I was and honored to have received an email a couple of weeks ago saying, "Hey, you're one of the first people to get this on a pre-sale standpoint," there wasn't a question. I said, "Absolutely, yes, 100%." And the interesting thing is, we heard a lot of things about it, but really didn't know a lot about it. And when I received the machine in the mail last week, there's a QR code on it. And because some people are asking me, what does this do? I'm like, I don't even know. I've heard some high level things what it does. But what I love about this thing is there's a QR code. There's a lot of different things that the QR code comes with, including obviously building the machine and what that looks like, how to use the machine. But also it says here, product benefits and features. So if you don't mind, there's not much, but I'd love to just share this with you right from LifeWave.
Please.
And here's what it says. Number 1 is optimize hydration at the cellular level. Number 2 is results in seconds, helps optimize key physiological functions with some reporting of effects occurring within seconds of consumption. Number 3 is supports metabolism and nutrient absorption as optimized hydration may aid in metabolism, oxygen uptake, and amino acid synthesis. The next one is supports bioelectrical activity, energy levels, and circulation, leading to enhanced wellness and vitality. Next is provides antioxidant properties by infusing water with hydrogen, which acts as an antioxidant when dissolved in water, supporting the body's natural defenses. Next one is designed to amplify the benefits of LifeWave's non-transdermal patches and cellular-gized supplements, which is an additive for water, making LifeWave X2O an integral part of your daily wellness routine. Last two may reduce antioxidant stress and support overall well-being, and then may help build endurance and support recovery, make it ideal for active and health-conscious lifestyles. So obviously, there's they have the disclaimers that it's it's hydrogen and water various aspects of health, including exercise capacity. So different things you do could or could not impact that. But I tell you, here's my experience with it. Didn't know what to experience when I started drinking this thing. What I felt personally is I hadn't felt good for a couple of days here. I was coming down with a cold. I think a lot of us that traveled to Florida and came back weren't feeling well. When I first started drinking, the first few seconds, I just kind of felt a good first breath that I hadn't taken in days, right? And I just kind of felt that, and I felt good since. But it wasn't for me. It wasn't just immediate like energy, but I felt kind of just clarity throughout the rest of the day and sustained energy. And I said to my wife, I'm going to try to do this and not drink coffee over the next couple of days. And yeah, I'm loving it so far. But I also know that that with the X39 and is what this lifestyle is going to be all about. I'm just so excited about sharing this and having more people seeing the benefits of it.
So Chuck, you and I went over to Josh. Josh was kind enough to let us into his home. Mm-hmm. And we were blessed to get to try some of the water, some of the LifeWave water. So we sat down and we actually stood up. We tried the water, and we had our first reactions. Share kind of like what was going through your mind. Like I think both of us anticipated like a surge, kind of like Josh was talking about, like a surge of energy or some sort of biological feedback that would be instantaneous. So what did you notice anything like right off the bat, or did you notice what did you notice? What was your experience?
Well, a little backdrop. They announced this machine had been invented last year, at the Dallas convention, and made a big deal. But they said our team leader, Stephen G. Merritt, wise in this industry, said, don't talk about it. You don't want to talk about it until it's available.
Right,
and that's
right.
why we're having the show today, is because it started to become available. So there's been a lot of hype leading up to this. Super excited. And as Josh said, you got a track record of David Schmidt and what he's done, so you know it's going to be good. So I didn't really know what to expect, but I was kind of expecting kind of like a physical sense of increased energy, and I did not experience that right away. What I did experience was I did feel like I could breathe better. And then it was like 5 to 7 minutes after, when you and I were in his driveway talking, I just started to feel like, if you've ever had one of those really good days where you just feel good, that's what I felt. I just felt good. It wasn't like any particular vibration or anything. I just felt good. Right. And I'd been dealing with some little slight headaches and just not feeling my best for several days. And I hadn't even really remembered that until my wife told me, you haven't been yourself lately. And that kicked me into feeling good. Another thing I noticed, and this is going to be TMI, I hate to even mention on your show, but I had one of the best bowel movements I've had in a long time the next day. And I wouldn't put 2 and 2 together, but I was talking to Becky Tucker last night, and she brought it up. She said, I was listening to Dr. Jen on a show, and she said she's always taking such good care of her health. She's always taking such good care of her health anyway, that, she's in really good health. And that's one thing she noticed, was it really helped with her bowel movements. So again, not so I necessarily want to talk about it on your show today, but I did notice, and I've been around the health industry long enough to know that it's really good for you.
No, it's awesome for you. Yeah, yes, it is awesome for you. We won't focus the show on that.
Good. No, I won't bring it up again, at least on the show.
what I noticed was a couple of things. One, I same with Chuck. I was probably even a little bit more anticipatory of the water because it took me probably was it 3 months? It probably took me 3 months, and I'll just go back. So 3 months, I'm sitting in. I've ordered I love the stem cells. I ordered a bunch of X30M patches. 3 months in, I'm sitting down with Chuck and Josh at the first St. Louis presentation, going through the slides of LifeWave. So I'm learning more about this after 12 weeks. I've been using the patch pretty religiously for 12 weeks, and I'm sitting down on the couch and I'm like, guys, I really don't know if this patch is doing anything for me because I don't, it's like I don't feel anything. It's not hitting me. It's like, so this is supposed to be a shared marketing, and I want to share. I want to share it because I want other people to understand stem cells. I know stem cells and how important they are to us. So I want to share this with people I care about and love about. But it's like at 12 weeks, I'm really not feeling anything. And then, so then I go through my day. So my day was, woke up, played golf, no knee pain, played pickleball for like an hour and a half after that. And then when I would normally, like a year ago, wouldn't have done both in the same day, would have been asleep by 7 o'clock at night. And then I drove out to St. Charles.
And you're breathing during the pickleball.
Yeah.
You used to have to stop all the time.
Yep.
Hey, time out, guys. I got to catch my breath.
I go out there. Well, I don't even know if it had gotten into my breathing that strongly at that point. But what I did notice was my overall energy was I was able to, at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock at night, do all those things and then drive out to St. Charles and be awake at the meeting. And as I went through my day, as I recapped it, I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to do that 3 months ago. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I wouldn't have had the energy to do that. Plus, I'd lost a little bit of weight. And so, as I walked through and Josh did the presentation on X39, I was just like, I am experiencing all these things. I guess part of my point is like where we were yesterday is so hard to remember because we're living for tomorrow. But it's important for me to go back because I remember I was 220 pounds. I was on my way to the morgue. Honestly, I was. My blood, I did blood tests, my triglycerides. I was in a terrible position, and started the X39, and here I am today. And I do feel younger. I do feel younger than I was a year and a half ago. I don't know by how much, but I feel younger. And Chuck, I think you would say that's the same experience for you from when you started using the X39.
Yes, absolutely.
So my point is so we drank the water. So it wasn't instantaneous. I agree with Chuck. I felt the well-being afterwards. It had a little bit of a essence to the water, which to me, being a Guinness drinker, wasn't like everything that's different has a signature, right? So Guinness, the greatest beer on the planet, has a signature flavor, has a signature. They call it an acquired taste. But the LifeWave water machine is it's going to change the world. It's going to change the world. I promise you, it's going to change the world one user at a time, one drinker at a time, because it's going to be the same process. The same process is going to be with the patches is with the water. You're not, maybe today it doesn't hit you like a boulder rolling down the hill, but it's working. It's doing its thing, and it is going to hit you. So Josh, you mentioned you're breathing a little bit better being in a cold. Chuck, you mentioned that perhaps you breathe a little. So one of the things I monitor, I don't want to consume the whole show because we have Chuck and Josh here, and they're brilliant in what they do. And I do want to talk about the business opportunity that is LifeWave, but I want to focus on your health. So one of the things I noticed, and this was just drinking one glass of water. So I have monitored my breathing my entire life, from when I was a little kid swimming in a round tin pool, seeing how many times I could go back and forth underwater to when I was a swimmer, how long I could how long I could swim without taking a breath, because taking a breath slows you down. I've monitored my breathing my entire life. I can tell you that a minute is a bad day for me holding my breath. A minute and a half is a good day. So and I shouldn't have done this while I was driving the car. That was a bad idea. But while I was driving the car, I was like, I wonder. So I'm leaving Josh's, drank the water. It's probably about 15, 20 minutes later. And I was like, I just wonder, since Josh talked about his breathing, and that I wonder if that would allow me to if it would affect my ability to hold my breath, which is a terrible idea while I'm driving. I have some terrible ideas, and like a 2-year-old, I still do them sometimes. So I held my breath while I was driving. It was over 2 minutes. I don't know if it was over 2.5 minutes or close to 3 minutes, but it was like, it blew me away. I did it twice. So just to confirm that I was holding my breath for over 2 minutes. And that means it's like, you guys probably don't make a point of figuring out how long you can hold your breath. So you have no idea, like this is a lifelong thing for me. So I've done this my entire life. Figured out, you can ask my wife. But that is unbelievable to me, that just one drink of this water and my lung capacity, my ability to process oxygen in my lungs and the cellular activity, because I was looking about like how people hold their breath. And apparently it's I'm not going to get into the biology of it, but it has to do a little bit with how well your cells can process out the carbon and bring the oxygen out from cells. So I think, Josh, as we go through this, I think you're going to find day after day that your benefits from drinking that water are going to expand. And what I would tell you, what I would ask you to do is keep a journal, because our memories suck. They just suck, and you forget where you were yesterday and where you are today versus where you're going to be tomorrow. And if you keep a journal of when you got it, I think that would be 100 so powerful.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I also encourage people today, at least when they get involved with LifeWave, but anyway, what's X39, I'm like, take some pictures of yourself. Seriously, take pictures of yourself, because even at our meeting last night, had a young guy come up to me. He's in his mid-20s, and he was just asking about my story, and then he interrupted me. He said, "Did you just say you're 50?" And I said, "Yeah, I got 2 grandkids." He goes, "There's no way. There's just no way that you're 50 years old." But I looked closer to 50 a couple of years ago. You don't see that in yourself all the time, but when I completely agree. Track your results on this, just like we give people a tracker on X39 as well, because there's so many things. There's a lot of times we're looking for one thing, but we don't realize things 2 through 8 are happening when we're looking for the other thing to happen too. So that's good point.
Josh, you kind of remind me how you look now as how Brett Hull looked when he was still playing hockey for the St. Louis Blues. Yeah, for sure. You look about that age, about that condition. Brett Hull was still playing hockey. I mean, you look like you could. I mean, that's just, when I look at you, that's just like, if that were Brett Hull, he'd still be playing hockey, right? That you look kind of like Brett Hull did while he was playing hockey. I mean, that's insane. You're 50, and the the LifeWave X39 patch has just made that much of a difference in your appearance outwardly. So we can only imagine what it's doing inside. So the X39 works. I won't get into great detail on it, but by firing up your copper peptides. And I think we talk about the stem cells, right? We talk about the stem cells, and we leave out the copper peptides. But to me, biologically, the copper peptides in your body are insanely positive for so much of your body. And yes, it's great that we're activating the stem cells, but in the process, how you get to those stem cell activations is by creating more and more copper peptides in your body. And that's what that's what the X39 does. What the X39 does is proven to do biologically, chemically, clinical tests. It's proven that it increases your body's production of copper peptides. And those copper peptides have 100 benefits besides just mobilizing and activating your stem cells. And one of those is skin and appearance. So, and Chuck, Where
I
do you
don't know
think?
how long he has. He may not have the whole hour with us.
Oh, Chuck. Oh, Josh, go ahead.
No, you just may want to shift gears a little bit
Sure.
and let him talk about this incredible opportunity, what it's done for him personally. Because God's no respecter of person. What it's done for him, it can do for
Well,
us. So.
absolutely. And so we're all on the same team as far as LifeWave goes. And Josh introduced me to the business. I invested in the business, and take it away, Josh. We'll let Josh tell you what the business is doing for him.
Yeah, so when I was introduced to this, like I said at the beginning, I didn't have interest in the business side. I believe in the industry. I think it's genius, and but you have to have the right company, the right product, the right leadership. There's so many things that have to line up in order for that to work. So I've always believed in the industry, but I was also very busy and didn't have the time to plug into something else at the point. For me, though, is when I see my results pretty quickly, and I still didn't just make a decision, hey, I'm going to do the business, but I nonchalantly, when it came up in conversation with some friends of mine, I just, they're holding their shoulder or making a comment about their knees or they're tired. And I said, hey, I'm wearing this patch here. You should try this. And like, what is that? And I just told them, I said, it's a activates your dormant stem cells, kind of gave them the website, and they did all the research, and then they tried it. That's really all I did, right? And just to share with them, I was like, hey, it works for me. Maybe it might work for you too. And then they tried it. They came back and seen some of the same results. And I'm like, well, that's pretty interesting. But then it clicked to me. I'm like, every time I'm talking to somebody about stem cells, they're sitting on the edge of their seat. They're excited about this because everybody knows something's going. And what other company in the world is talking about what they can do to activate dormant stem cells through this? And so it was July 1st of 2023. I made a decision to actively do this as a side business, if you will, in addition to my career. Never thinking that it would go very far, but I was hoping to make really enough money to cover my auto ship for me and my wife, which is $200 a month. And that happened pretty quick. But then we went from 4 people to 40 people to 400 people. And now today we have 4,200 people on our team in a little over 2 years. And so it's been the most incredible thing I've ever been involved with ever. So the health side is amazing. The financial side was completely unexpected, but it's changing people's lives financially and from a health standpoint. So for me, I'll tell you, for what I do for a living, I like my job, I love my team, but this gives so much meaning to your life on what the impact you're having on people's lives in both of those categories. So I'll do this till Jesus comes home. That's for sure.
And Chuck, you've been involved in shared marketing. You're basically your entire adult life or close to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Since, that's how we met.
We had Victor Dawson on the show here 6-7 months ago, and Victor's the one who's my boss in St. Louis back in the 1990s, about 1992. And
Excuse me real quick, guys. I got to jump on this one here, but very nice talking to you, though.
Josh,
great
thanks for
job.
joining us, buddy.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you bet.
Thanks.
See you.
So basically, Victor Dawson introduced me to networking back in 1992, and I got involved. The personal development that I acquired in this industry catapulted my corporate career. So that was pretty exciting. And I've been involved ever since. I've had times where I wanted to quit and not do it and just do regular corporate world, but I'm drawn to helping people. Diane and I, my wife and I, incorporated years ago, and our company is Team of Hope, Inc., and our slogan is helping people spiritually, physically, and financially. And literally, LifeWave has given me the best opportunity to help people physically and financially of anything I've ever seen. So it's pretty exciting.
So I joined LifeWave. Chuck called me. I've worked on a few different projects with Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
Joined LifeWave, and last year made more money in 1 year, my first year of LifeWave, than I'd made in all my other networking projects combined. So it was I shared it, but I was happy to share it with people that you care about because it is their health, and I know what it's I know what it's done for me, and so sharing that story and trying to help people was important, and I got paid a little bit for doing it, and so most of my friends and the people I shared it with aren't really going into the shared marketing side of it. So that's normal, right? So it's normal. You're older. You don't necessarily have the you've got your circle of people. You're not going to be doing. You don't feel like doing outreach. But for those of you that see what stem cells can mean for somebody and would like to be more active in presenting and sharing, this is an insane opportunity because it's not just today. You're going to have the X2O water machine. You're going to have the patents on that. You're going to have the patents on the X39. And if you are a sharer and you are struggling with where to place your treasure, your time, give Chuck a call. Give Chuck a call because let me tell you, the man knows how to build a team. The man knows how to help people build a team to make money doing this. And Chuck, you want to, I don't know if you're.
No, just tell him Joe sent you.
Just tell him Joe sent me, but.
We're working together. And the neat thing about this, though,
you can find Chuck online. Chuck Williams, Team of Hope. It's not hard to find.
Yeah, when you've got Stephen Gina Merritt leading this team, that's what's unique about this opportunity of everything I've ever done before is everything, like Josh said, is in place. You've got a product in this X39 patch that nobody else has. We have a patent until 2030 on this thing. So we have longer than that. It's a 20-year patent and it came about 2020, so 2040, I guess. So that's a long runway with an exclusive product. There is no competition. So that's really cool. Then you've got a CEO, founder, scientist who's leading it in David Schmidt. That's very unique to have one person wear all those hats. He's a very unique individual. He's special. He's got 200 patents. This is just one of his many products. The one we've been talking about today, the X2O, holy cow. I don't think we comprehend what that's going to do for people, including you and me, and our health.
We don't.
And we can't even say some of the stuff we think it's going to do because we don't know yet. But I do know this. David Schmidt, who's invented a lot of things, is very, very excited about what it's going to do for the human body and our health. He literally has been quoted as saying his products, he's not into anti-aging, he's an age reversing. And it's just super exciting.
So kind of let me go back a little bit. And there's two sides to a coin, right? So there's two sides. So one side of the coin is where's the FDA approval? Where's the 100% clinical trial that people have been in for 20 years that proves what it does? And the other side of the coin is, do you believe? Right? Do you believe? So here's your question. Here's the question you got to kind of ask yourself. Is like, if you want to be dead and get the FDA stamp of approval of 20 years later, something that's been tried by 20,000 people or 20,000 people and it's proved this, and this, you're welcome to wait. You're welcome to wait for FDA because I've invested in pharmaceuticals that are safe, effective, and you can't get them. You can't get them. And when it comes out, it'll have the FDA someday, if I'm still here, which I will be with LifeWave. But when it comes out, but let me just remind you, we don't want to slam the FDA too hard. I laugh at people that look to the FDA for their health. Like, you want a stamp from a government authority telling you that something's okay or something works. When the reality of it is that's not necessarily your best modus operandi for your health. So we would never have access to this water machine, probably in our lifetimes, if that was the route David took. We would probably never have access to these patches if David were more concerned about getting Medicare government money from people and put this into clinical trials for the next 20 years, because there's no bad side effects. So there's no profit motive. There's the beauty of what David Schmidt is doing is he is bypassing all of those things. So we were privy to 3 of the clinical trials and the results that David ran on this water machine. And he's not going for FDA approval. He's got the electronics are safe. He's got the safety approval. So he's got the things that tell you this water is safe, right? But if he were to go further down the road and try to get it proven through the FDA that it does all these things for your body, when do you think you would have this water machine? When do you think you would have access to it? I don't, but to all of you out there who want a stamp of approval saying something does something by the FDA, I tell you, you would never see this water machine. You would never have access to it. But since we do shared marketing, and since we've done so well, since the team has done so well at shared marketing, David has brought out this water machine using shared marketing. And that's a blessing and a miracle to all of us. I can't say it. I can't say it hard enough that, like Chuck said, David is a different type of guy. He's got 200 patents. He's not allowing us access because he cares about it. He's an entrepreneur. He wants to make money. Maybe part of it is because I don't want to say he doesn't care about us, but part of this is because the process, the system that we've created is allowing him to bring this water machine out to us. And I guess what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is we're blessed to have access to this water machine. We are 100% blessed to have access to it. And the first 3 clinical trials, you can go online and look them up. The LifeWave water machine clinical trials, third clinical trial, and watch that video. It's about an hour long, and that's what's coming our way. And I think there might be a Netflix special that's coming out.
There's Netflix coming out on David Schmidt in general, but it'll include the X39 and the X2O water machine.
Okay, so that's going to be coming out. We don't know.
Well, we got the conference coming up in October, so we'll find out more at that.
Okay, so the National Conference for LifeWave is in October in
Anaheim, California.
And you're going.
I'm going. Diane and I are going.
So, do you know what the music specials are going to be, or do they save that for the day?
I know Elton John is one of the performers.
All right, fun.
So, I don't know the others, but it'll be a first-class event.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, I've heard about the other ones.
Yeah, and they did it last year. It was like their 20-year anniversary or something, and they really made it special. And he enjoyed blessing the people so much, he said, we're going to make everyone special.
Why are we just doing this once?
Exactly. So this one, he's looking top last year, which is going to be awesome.
So this is a shared marketing company that 4 years ago was a $20 million company. So think about this. $20 million company 4 years ago. And this year, are we going over $1 billion?
Projected to go over $1 billion, especially with the water machine coming into
I'm sure it will.
play. But last year, I've heard we did $640 million. So from $20 million to $640 million in 4 years. That's an amazing hyper momentum.
And that was all 100, not 100%, but basically 100% on the X39 patch.
Yes.
So this little patch came out, took this little engine that could from a $20 million company to over $640 million last year, and we believe it's going to be over $1 billion probably this year. And they have come out, the same company that took this little patch, put it on people, to have them try it, took them from 20 million to over 640 million. They're now telling you that this water, if you drink it, is not just going to have an impact on your body, but is going to actually make these patches work better.
Right. 97% of people get good positive results from a patch. Our studies show that 100% of participants get results from the water. So and when you combine them together, it's the greatest health breakthrough in our lifetime. And I'm not saying that I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm quoting doctors that have said in their 30 years of practice, they've never seen a healthcare breakthrough like this.
And that is why we are so excited about the X39 and the X2O machine. I keep calling. I don't know how I got on the HXO, but it's the X2O.
X2O. And it just screams opportunity, because when it becomes a multi-billion-dollar company, which it will, 60% of the revenue gets paid out to brand partners who are sharing it. And right now we're in pre-launch with the water machine, So only brand partners can get it. They're going through the list of brand partners. Basically, I think they're doing it by the amount of income you've earned in the past year. And so they're going, just allowing people to get access. Then at the convention, anybody who goes to the convention gets access to buy the machine next. And after that, it's open to all brand partners in the U.S. And then it goes globally, country by country, region by region. So it's a major product rollout.
So I have a question for you. It just came to me. So do you think one of the reasons why you got early access, if I don't want to speak out of school, was because you're going to the convention?
No, I was going to the convention because my wife wanted to go. That's reason number one. Reason number two is they told us if you go to the convention, you get first shot at buying one of the machines.
Right.
But I got access yesterday because we're part of the early rollout, and the amount of income we've earned, I think, is what qualified us for being on the early rollout.
So you're doing well.
We're doing quite, it's been exciting. It's been exciting.
And I've got some fun things happening on my team as well. So it is an exciting opportunity. I'm always torn on these shows when I have Chuck come on, because Chuck's the business side. Chuck is a builder. He's a sharer. It's what he enjoys to do. It's what he loves to do. And so I'm always torn by how much of this do I talk about what stem cells and copper peptide activation and mobilization have meant to our physical health versus the opportunity. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do business, but they do want to feel better. And so I always want to encourage them. You don't have to do the business. You don't have to do the business. You can get your shipments. You can set this water machine up and live your private life, and you don't have to tell a single soul about it. But it does get to the point where if you're getting better and feeling better, there will be people that approach you and say, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You look great. What are you doing?" And what do you say? Nothing. Well, it's the X39. And I think that's one of the reasons why the LifeWave has gone from a $20 million company to over $600 million, is because the sharing of the X39 and what it's doing for people is very personal, and the people that are sharing it feel very excited and very willing to share what they've experienced with the X39 patch.
Well, let me give you a personal example. I'm a business builder, have been for 30 plus years. I was not the one who wanted to build this business. Because my wife and I were using it, and the results she and I were getting, she decided to build the business. That's why this company went from 20 million to 640 million, is because people like my wife, who are not entrepreneurial, not salespeople, are sharing this. You'd almost be cruel not to share what we have found with people. My uncle, I went over to his house 4 weeks ago, and he had a wound. I'll show you. I'm not going to show on the air because it's gross. But he got a wound on his leg. 7 months, this thing is not healed. And I did not go to share the patch with my aunt and uncle. I just basically went to visit with them. But I couldn't help but share with them when I saw what I saw. 3 weeks in, that wound has already started to shrink up and heal.
Nice.
He had that thing for 7 months.
Is he putting it right on the wound? Or
you don't put it on the open wound, but he's putting it near it.
Near it, okay.
So it's just that type of response. Now, he, as his wound heals up and goes away after 7 months of not healing, he can't help but talk to other people. And that's how it's grown so fast. It's just natural wanting to help other people.
Right. So I'll go back to, we'll close out. I'm going to regret talking about this. But since I monitor my breathing so well, I also monitor, I've got type 2 diabetes. So I don't know. I imagine I still have type 2 diabetes. It's been a while since I've tested my A1C. But I will tell you, one of the things that happens with type 2 diabetes is I lost basically all the hair growth on my lower leg. From my kneecap down, zero hair. I looked like a 90-year-old man that shaves his legs. I had no hair. So one of the fun things I've noticed after a year and a half, and I do appreciate it, is that because to me it means I know I have blood flow to my legs, and blood flow to your legs means you're not, you won't lose toes, you won't lose feet due to type 2 diabetes. And so I'm guessing that your uncle is experiencing the same sort of thing, and that's why the wound wouldn't heal, because he doesn't have blood flow. He might be diabetic, might be type 2 diabetic, but he's lost the blood flow to his lower extremities. And I can't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of toes and feet and lower legs are cut off with diabetes and type 2 diabetes. But this is a wonder to humanity, the X39 patch is. And I get frustrated. I get frustrated when I share what's happened to me, or people that see me getting younger, and they don't get on the X39 patch. So I get frustrated because, like, I should be, my life, my physical health should be a testament to all the people I care and love about. But some people, they're never the same. They're never the same older. And you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them put the patch on, or in this case, make them drink the water. But I'm excited about the water, because the water
Me too.
is going to make the patches. We didn't get into the technical side. Let me see what time it is. 11:58. My time is almost up. But the water, I'll get this real quick. The water releases light into the body. These patches reflect your body's light back into your body. So as you drink the water, more light's going into your body. The signature, the biological thought process is you're going to grow your inner light. You're going to grow your bioluminescence. And as your bioluminescence grows with the water every day, this patch that's reflecting your own body's light, that light gets stronger coming from the inside out. This patch is going to reflect a stronger signal back into your body, telling it to make more copper peptides. And when you make more copper peptides, everything gets better. And it also activates your stem cells. So we'll leave it at that. Chuck, any final words of wisdom? Would you like to lead us in a prayer to end the show?
Let's pray. Father God, I thank you for this opportunity to be on Joe's show. And Kingdom Evolution is such a powerful force. And I just thank you for his influence week after week after week, sharing with his heart. And I thank you for this opportunity to share life with people, as it is changing lives, one family at a time. Our founder, CEO, and scientist, David Schmidt, wants to have his products in 1 billion homes, helping people around the world. And we want to be a big part of that. So thank you for this opportunity. And we just pray a blessing over each listener. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. And we'll end the show, if I can find my mouse. Well, maybe we won't end the show. Here we go. And Chuck, this has become my favorite song of all time, I think. So we're going to end the show with this one.
Diane was just complaining the other day that her hair is going back her legs. She had
There's mosquitoes on the river, fish are rising up like birds.